Hey, what's up? I'm back. G is back here on the Hildebrand Lifestyle channel. As you all know who watch the channel, I'm an artist, Hildebrand Lifestyle. I'll talk about picking up one of these t-shirts later. But today, I want to talk to you guys again about how art is all around us, how information is all around us. So today, guys, as an artist, you know, we go through a lot of different things as artists and creators. And I want to talk about, again, I want to emphasize the mental mindset that you have to have a lot of times to get through it all. It's not always easy. Most times you have to have a stoic mindset to get through it because, you know, even when you're creating a masterpiece or an art piece, right? During that process, the art is not looking the way you want it to look. It's not coming out the way you want it to come out. And it can also give you like a feeling of wanting to give up because it's like, I'll just give up and start over. But the most powerful thing you can do is work through it. Consistently and constantly work through it because that piece is in development. And as that piece continues to develop and grow, so will you. It'll teach you how to get through different challenges and it'll teach you to overcome, right? Because design is a process. It's not, you know, it's not like a cookie cutter thing. One thing works for all. That's not how design works. Design is problem solving. You're constantly solving a problem. And each problem presents its own challenges, just as life does. So behind me, what you see are books. A lot of these different books I read, and it helps me stay enlightened, it helps me stay informed. And it also works as a way for me to escape a lot of times, right? You know, a lot of times, like, it helps to be able to zone out and go to a totally different place. And, you know, mentally, just go to a totally different place mentally. And read about how other artists or designers or philosophers or what have you may have solved or overcome their problems in life. And that's what I like to try to teach and share on this channel. So as I continue to travel the world and share all these amazing experiences with you all, that I'm so thankful that I'm able to do in terms of like sharing all of these experiences with you guys. But I also like to share things that'll help you improve your own life, that'll help you, you know, get through some I guess troubled waters, as they say, right? As artists, we go through that a lot. Sometimes we create work that people don't like for whatever reason, you know. You know, this wasn't the right color or what have you. And a lot of times you can make those changes and make those iterations. But a lot of times as artists, we like to just create what we like, right? We create art for art's sake. But as a designer, you know, as a professional designer, I worked in a lot of different fields as a UX, UI designer. And it's not really all about creating art for art's sake, right? That's a design discipline, and it actually services a need for end users, right? So you have to be empathetic to the end user to understand what it is that they're actually using the application for, what's the purpose of the application, and how it's going to help the user get through a process, right? From the time that you turn your computer on, you get into the user interface, which you'll see me, you'll hear me in a lot of these videos. You'll hear me refer to that as UI. So that means user interface when I talk about UI and I'm talking about design. Or if I use the term UX, when I use the term UX, I'm referring to user experience. Okay, guys, so that'll help you follow along with the acronyms that I may use referring to certain things pertaining to design. But when you're in that process, right, a lot of times we have to do, we don't have, I wouldn't say have to, it's an absolute necessity. When you say have to, it's kind of like a maybe, but it's an absolute necessity that we do usability testing. Usability testing allows us to understand what pain points or what the user actually is going through while they're using the application that our team has designed or are in the process of designing it's, for instance, if we're doing a redesign, we pretty much have data, right? On a redesign, you pretty much have a lot of data. But when you're doing a flagship project, and which is rare, right? But if you're doing a flagship project and you don't really have data, a whole lot of data pertaining to this particular application, it could become overwhelming because that consists of a lot of different metrics that you have to actually get research on so that it can become an effective design application for the end user. Again, we're designing this for the end user. We're not just doing this for design's sake. As an artist, a lot of times we don't want to hear stuff like that. Oh, just make the color this color, and I do what I want to do, and that's all fine and dandy when it's just your application or your project. But when you're designing things for others, you have to be considerate. You have to empathize, and you have to be more considerate of what their needs are. So it's the same thing in life, right? When you're dealing with people, a lot of times you have to compromise. You have to go through just understanding like what their perspective is, and in order to have a relationship, right? It's a back and forth. So a lot of times, as artists, especially when you want to tap into like your creative side, I like to just zone out. If I could cut off all my phone devices, cut off really all communication on social media and connection with the world, I like to do that because it allows me to tap into another side of my brain, the creative side. And it's kind of like going into the bat cave, It's a great analogy because, like, you go into, or when Superman goes into the phone booth, changes into a whole different person, right? Again, like, in order for them to become Superman or Batman, they have to isolate themselves. They isolate themselves to turn into a superhero, right? Something amazing. And that doesn't happen a lot of times when there's so much external energy coming in, right? So a lot of times that takes solitude. It's solidarity. The process of being, in solitude is really helpful a lot of times when you're trying to really get through your own thoughts, because let's face it, our minds are incredible. There's so many different thoughts that run through our minds during the day. Depending on what it is that you're thinking about, that could be a lot, So if you have a lot to deal with mentally and you're going through that, just imagine trying to come up with something creative or amazing, right? It can be a bit overwhelming, a bit daunting. So this is why it's important to isolate yourself a lot of times so that you can tap into that energy. It's not easy. It's not easy. A lot of people get upset, like, why are you not answering your phone? Why I can't get in touch with you? Man, I'm just in my zone. I gotta be in this zone in order to be creative. So a lot of times that can ruin relationships. But that's the price you have to pay sometime as an artist, to really tap into that. So I hope this was helpful for anyone watching this. You don't necessarily have to be an artist to isolate yourself to really tap into that. Just a form of meditation, just being able to, be at peace with yourself, being still is very helpful. It's very healthy also, because if you're studying just giving of yourself, that can be draining. So in order for you to be able to help others, you have to take time out, peace of mind, and really tap in. All right, guys, I hope you find it helpful. If you guys are looking to tap into learning how to draw, I have 10 books listed on Amazon. You can click the link in the description below if you'd like to find out how you can learn how to draw. Also, this next video, make sure you click the link on this next video. This next video is going to tap into some information and take you places. Man, it's going to be really nice to see. So I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, guys. Peace, love, and everything.